Welcome to the Disability and Industrial Society podcast. My name is Mike Mantin, and I'm here with Kat Watkins. Kat, would you like to introduce yourself?
My name's Kat Watkins, and I work with Swansea Access For Everybody. I've just looked around the
The exhibition.
Yeah, that's the exhibition. And quite enjoyable.
Great. So, what did you think? How did you feel about the exhibition when you were looking around it?
To be honest, when I was looking around the exhibition, it made me draw a parallel to nowadays. That things really haven't changed a lot from how they were 100 or so years ago. And I just saw that these men went through incredible hardship, like just to survive. But the same can be seen nowadays as well. Yeah.
What in particular stood out to you that made you think that?
For me, the rite of passage back to work.
Yeah.
Whether you can or you can't, you got to go and do it, sort of thing. That it's not deemed as acceptable if you're not able physically to do it. You got to try and push yourselves to be able to do whatever. And also the setting up of the NHS and welfare state and that happening in Wales as a direct consequence of the struggles of the miners. That's pretty fascinating to me.
So did the exhibition change how you feel about disability in history?
Not really.
Fair enough. What do you think museums can do to increase disabled people's visibility in society and to change society's attitudes?
I think museums could actually play a big part in changing society's attitudes to disability, like maybe setting up a few more exhibitions that are focused in on disability historically. Like, for example, there was a exhibition a few years ago about a mummy that was found in Egypt that had brittle bones, and it had been preserved for 2,000 years. That was quite incredible to me. And also making the museums a lot more accessible, like, for example, putting the exhibits lower and more visible, and not having to make you stretch yourselves in all different sorts of ways to read the writings on the wall, and also making it bigger, because a lot of the time it's so incredibly small, it's so difficult to read it. Or providing it in different formats, like possibly giving an iPad at the beginning of the tour and saying, you might struggle with this part of the exhibition, so we provide this to enable you to participate better.
It's a brilliant idea. Thank you. This picture of the miners at the Port of Call Rest is one of the first things we found.
Yeah.
And it's kind of hard to find pictures of disabled people in coal mines and disabled people in history quite often, because
it's quite hard to find pictures of disabled people in general.
Yeah.
Because we were deemed to be not visually appealing.
Yeah.
And like freak shows. And so you'd see them more in storybooks, like Humpback and Notre Dame and stuff like that. My old school, there was a film done, and it's quite incredible actually. Footage from like 1908 of disabled children. That was pretty cool.
Wow. Which school did you go to?
Trelaw School.
Okay.
In Hampshire.
So is this kind of like orchestrated footage where like they clearly got the kids all together, or is it showing them more like a play?
No, it was like, say they went on days out and stuff. Just like at play or at work or something like that. Recuperating in hospitals. So it was set up before the NHS, like that convalescent home.
Okay.
So it was set up in 1908.
Yeah.
And it was for like sick and disabled children in London. By William Purdy Trelaw.
Did they put the footage online?
It is available, yeah. Yeah, you could have a look for it online. Attitudes haven't really changed. Useless to themselves and a burden to their relatives. That's pretty much what is expressed now. It's not changed at all in, well, that's 150 years ago almost. It's quite depressing really to,
To draw that line between then and today.
Yeah, I mean, and disability is still seen as the recklessness of the individual sort of thing. Like, there are certain people that believe if you're born disabled, you've done something in your past life that means you are disabled, or your parents did something that needed to be punished or whatever. Yeah, still, the views haven't changed at all.
That's incredibly depressing.
Yeah. It's not fun being disabled sometimes.
Yeah. We wanted to emphasise in this panel the need for family care for a lot of miners who couldn't rely on the state or their colleagues.
Wasn't much care available outside of the family.
No.
Other than the convalescent homes. And, it's so much of a parallel to nowadays. A lot of the time, particularly with the closure of the independent living fund, unless you've got your family or close friends, that sort of thing, you do end up in a shared accommodation, care home, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
So you're still relying on your family to survive. It's almost again like the work capability assessment. What can you do now?
Are you fit to work?
Yeah. It's quite fascinating how, although we say that we've come a long way in the last 100 years, we really haven't. It's still the same.
Not dressed up in new ways. So.
Yeah. And women take quite a big role now as well. Like, they're not shut away. But that's all disability was, is shut away. It's not a lot different now.
Even after things like deinstitutionalisation and mainstreaming, that still hasn't solved everything.
No.
Got the last panel here is called Lessons from History.
Yeah, I agree with that. Part of that.
With which part?
I agree with that shouldn't ever be a restriction, and it's how society reacts. But unless society has knowledge and isn't fed propaganda all the time, because every news article you see or news story on the TV, it's all about how disabled people are the scroungers of the planet and how they just sit on their bottoms doing nothing. And it's really saddening because that's not how it is at all, and as such we're not given a chance. And also it's hindering our prospects of getting a job, which government wants us to do, and because we're deemed parasites basically, people like who would give the jobs are like, oh, they're going to drain my company now and take whatever we can offer, and it's just really crap. And also, like, there were things set up to help people into work, like the homes and stuff, and there was access to a fund that said that they would help buy tiny pieces of equipment that would help you undertake a job. That's closing down now as well.
Yeah, and things like employ factories as well.
Yeah.
And those are set up in the aftermath of the coal industry in World War II, and that's similar.
It's all going. I just don't understand it. I just don't understand the vendetta of people, basically, because not really much need for it. People are people at the end of the day, regardless of whether they have any impairments or not. They're still humans. Yes.
So even though this is kind of before the NHS, the formal welfare state, things still quite similar.
Yeah, still very similar.
Yeah.
Although, like, we do benefit so greatly from the welfare state and stuff, and without it we would be stuck totally. It's now gone the wrong way of, yes, it is taking advantage of, and it isn't now helping those like the miners who are sick and disabled.
Wow, so I mean, just looking at the history of this, it can bring out quite strong emotions about the present.
Yeah, it really can. I mean, it's quite incredible to see that it is totally parallel. That there is no difference. It's just history repeating itself over and over again.
What do you think people can do to stop that happening?
The stigmatism of disability needs to be shattered. And needs to stop being scared of disability. Like, if someone has a disability, they need society to view them just as an individual rather than parasite or a burden. If someone accumulates their disability, they need to not see themselves as a parasite or burden.
Yeah, so some of it can be kind of internalised.
Yeah, it still is internalised, but that's because of the government, etc., telling you that you're worthless, that your life is not worth anything anymore, because you can't contribute to society as well as you used to be able to. It's not right, really not right. And no matter what is done now, I fear that all the progress that has been made has been disbanded completely. Although I've got a job, I can't work. I did 12 hours one week. I did 20 hours in 8 days. And, oh my god, I suffered so badly for that. I could barely speak. Like, nobody could understand a word I was saying.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't because I was tired, it's because my disability just flared up.
Yeah.
And it's just not worth it. It's not worth putting myself through that all the time. And it's things like that people don't see, and they think that you're just making it up. That your disability is breaking bones, that's all you do. So unless you break bones, there's nothing wrong with you. No, it's really not that.
Yeah, exactly.
It's really not that.
Like you're fit to work regardless.
Yeah.
Cerebral palsy, for example, it'll get better, you can go to work.
Yeah, exactly. It's like the government saying that, with the right support, you could just lead a normal, active life.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, we could. But that still doesn't mean I'm perfectly capable of working.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. This is a trambulance. It's used to carry miners out of the mines and onto a train or to the hospital. It's pretty back to basics. We had the original one, which had a red cross painted on it and a shelter, but this is another, which is basically just a stretcher on wheels.
Yeah, but it's showing the way of the modern day bed for the ambulances with like the wheels on the bottom.
Yeah, there's kind of two sets of wheels.
Yeah, it's like the styling really hasn't changed that much, has it?
No.
So although basic, it's engineering.
Yeah.
Good engineering.
Yeah.
Doing what you need it to do.
Exactly, and nothing else.
Exactly.
No fancy colours.
No point in having something that's for several jobs but only does one.
Yeah, exactly.
And a leg brace.
Yes, a caliper. It's from Clando Hospital.
And the style of first aid boxes hasn't changed much.
No.
Yeah, I'm glad to see the style of calipers has changed.
Yeah, that looks pretty uncomfortable.
Yeah. But it's quite good that they had to have a high number of miners carrying first aid with them.
Yeah. In fact, one of the first industries to really